You guys remember almost 6 years ago, Elon Musk pointing out that companies attempting to solve autonomy using LiDAR were completely effed? Here's the direct quote. Anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. Doomed. Expensive sensors that are unnecessary. LiDAR is a fool's errand. By the way, he's right. Many years later, most of these folks have still not realised, nor many of the analysts or money managers, trying to understand how Tesla could possibly have an advantage when it comes to autonomy. And then you remember when Elon Musk buys Twitter, renames it to X, restores people's ability to freely share their thoughts, opinions and ideas, and the hate stream media shrieked endlessly that he didn't know what he was doing, the company go bankrupt, what does a guy who makes cars know about social media, blah, 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 blah. And subsequent to that purchase, X has seen month-over-month growth in user minutes and user signups and user activity. Number one news app in the United States and most of the world. Remember when he fired around 80% of the dead weight at the company and suddenly the product's better with a fraction of the headcount? And you may not recall, but soon after firing around 80% of the people at Twitter and the media shrieking, so-called experts going ballistic, oh my God, he doesn't know what he's doing, they're going to go bankrupt, Twitter's going to stop working. Quietly, a bunch of other tech companies also did mass layoffs and the media didn't care. No one cared because Elon had given permission. Leaders lead and followers follow. I want you guys to watch this statement from Meta, aka Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, who I'm no fan of, just to be clear, who appears to have finally found a pair of nuts and is actually starting to use them. There's two important messages here, folks. One, Elon Musk's courage as a leader is giving others permission to find their own balls and show just a tiny shred of courage themselves. And two, this is yet another example of Musk having a product in a marketplace that has put competitive pressure on other companies with comparable products, forcing them to copy or perish. But of course, the earlier comments about LiDAR, I mean, that's definitely not going to play out too, and all the companies using LiDAR totally aren't doomed. They're not going to regret ignoring Elon's warning back then. And they're definitely not going to scramble to have a vision-only approach in the future. Over to you, Zuck.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platform. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
Okay, so I just got to stop here for a moment. This is really important. Did you notice that Mark Zuckerberg used the term community notes? The actual term community notes, literally what X is, the exact terminology. He also referenced X directly. So I have to give credit to Mark here, okay? He's seen a competing product that users actually want, e.g., let us fucking share our thoughts and opinions, you fucks. And he's willing to call this out by name. Now, I've been railing against this insane shit from day one. P.S. YouTube, go fuck yourselves. The goal of social media companies to prevent people sharing facts about reality, making statements of fact, to ask questions, to have discussion, to share ideas, disgust me. Just to be clear, by the way, prior to Musk's acquisition of Twitter, then X, YouTube had a policy where they would instantly ban content in which you ask certain questions about certain things that may or may not have happened in 2020 relating to mail turning up late. I'll just leave it at that, right? And then suddenly, now people can start sharing some thoughts, some questions, some ideas. Hang on a minute, let me just ask a question on X. Suddenly, YouTube policy disappears, but only after Elon bought Twitter. How curious. YouTube's also had a bunch of other insane policies, and I do really want to encourage everyone at YouTube. There's one like human who literally manually reviews every video. Anyone who thought that was okay, get fucked. It's not okay. It was never okay. Fuck you. The vast majority of people who work in these tech companies are brain-dead morons who think it's their job to interfere in people's ability to share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas, but not for long. This is a huge tipping point. The pendulum is swinging. Now, of course, within these companies at Meta, I'm sure there's a bunch of people shrieking now. They've asked for stress leave. They're going to be crying in the corner like a little bitch. Oh my God, free speech is a threat to democracy. I feel unsafe. Help. These people need to go. But my point here, the cultural impact, the civilizational impact of Musk's acquisition of Twitter, now X, cannot be overstated. This is massive. Prior to the acquisition of Twitter, we were fucked, okay? There was nowhere you could freely share your thoughts and opinions and ideas at scale anywhere. And what's happened here is people like Zuckerberg running Facebook and Instagram have realized that people actually want to be able to freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas. People are flocking to X. And now he, as a reaction, has realized, oh shit, you know what? Maybe being the arbiters of truth was not a great idea. Let's reverse this policy because we're losing user minutes to X. But the shift is happening. People have had enough. And it's a very big moment that Mark Zuckerberg is admitting mistakes were made and reversing these decisions. This is very important. And look, he's obviously a pussy for following Musk, but hey, it's better late than never. PS, YouTube, go fuck yourselves. I'm so mad, bro. It was never okay to censor people. It was never okay to prevent open discussion. It was never okay to stop people asking questions. Never okay.
After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy.
Okay, so shots fucking fired there. Two things. Notice that Zuckerberg described the hate stream media, the fake news, as the legacy media. He's right. They are the legacy media, the dinosaur media. They're going extinct. The fact that he actually accurately described the hate stream media as the legacy media is quite a moment. Second of all, he's pointing out the irony of these brain-dead, I'm just going to say it, absolute gigatards claiming that misinformation is a threat to democracy. The fuck? I mean, the level of hyperbole here was next level, okay? What Zuckerberg's really saying here is these retarded morons working in the fake news said stupid things. They're so dumb. That's dumb. Come on. Misinformation is a threat to democracy. That's ridiculous. But it's almost as if people working at Meta, formerly Facebook, believe this because Facebook did decide to act as if misinformation really was a threat to democracy. How strange. Is he calling out all the dumb fucks that previously or still currently work within Meta who thought this was actually accurate? Misinformation is a threat to democracy. Bro, this is wild stuff. Just to be clear, misinformation is code word for free speech, okay? People freely sharing their thoughts, opinions, and ideas, even if they're wrong, is a threat to democracy. No. Stopping people from sharing their thoughts, opinions, and ideas is the true threat to democracy. So, shots fired here from Zuck. Make no mistake, he ain't fucking around.
We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US.
So this also is an amazing statement. It's true. And of course, we knew this. I've been calling out for some time. Many others have as well. The so-called fact checkers, who, by the way, claim to be independent entities, right? So you just hire some independent fact checkers and they'll do the fact checking for you, so you're not meddling, right? Are a bunch of fucking left-hearted morons. If you were to privately have a conversation with most people working in I can't believe this is even a real industry. In the fact-checking industry, right? What do you think of Orange Man Bad? Threat to democracy, he's Hitler, right? Okay? You can't have that. The decisions, just don't get me started. Anyway, again, credit to Zuckerberg for calling this out. He's an absolute fucking pussy for trying to appease the ridiculous comments from the fake news that free speech is a threat to democracy. I mean, misinformation, same thing. Trying to appease them. He should have given the double bird and said, go fuck yourselves, bitches. This is the United States. We're a US-based company. We're built on free speech. If you think we'll be censoring or if it's okay to censor or suppress people's thoughts on our platforms, you can eat a bag of dicks. But hey, it's progress. The thing that irked me the most about these so-called fact checkers is their claims to be independent as if they're completely unbiased, third party, right? And they're all absolutely left-hearted morons. By the way, don't get me started on what happened during the scamdemic.
So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse.
Wait. Does that mean that it's going to be okay on Meta to suggest that a man who thinks he's a woman is a man? By the way, that may have been a bannable offense on YouTube once. Maybe it still is. If so, rest in peace, my channel. But is that what's happening? Yes, that's what's happening. It's crazy that this was not allowed to even be discussed, let alone said. I mean, bro. And the fact that they had policies that prevented people discussing certain aspects of immigration, particularly probably illegal immigration. And this is like bittersweet, right? So fucking mad that these policies existed in the first place. But good to see the reversals taking place. But none of this would have happened without Musk buying Twitter, nor Trump getting elected.
What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far.
Bro just spat some facts. Completely agree. And again, it's good to hear him acknowledging this. I mean, he's saying that look, Facebook, Meta has gone too far. He's right. This stuff should have never been okay in the first place.
So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platform.
Because we're losing users to X. I'm just kidding. Mark's just had a miraculous change of tune.
Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms.
Now, so I just notice how he talks about the vast majority of censorship happening on their platforms. There shouldn't be any censorship. X has the perfect platform, right? Unless something's illegal, let it be. But if it's garbage, if it's heinous, then sure, don't amplify it. But the fact that he's describing issues with some of the censorship or the vast majority of there shouldn't be any censorship to have issues with in the first place.
We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't.
Now, again, I do need to stop here. It's true that the quote filters make quote mistakes, but it's also true that almost every single one of those mistakes universally skews one way politically. It's just what a magical coincidence that the filters always make mistakes in one political direction and never the other. Strange, isn't it?
So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platform. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again.
No. What's actually happening, okay, I'm just going to call a spade, is Zuckerberg and the folks at Meta have realized that people actually do enjoy discussing these topics, but they can't on Meta. They're all going to X to discuss this shit because you can't even talk about it on Meta, on Facebook, on Instagram. Make no mistake here. I don't think they're receiving feedback from their users. I just think they've noticed that they're losing user time to X.
So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
Now, this is amazing. And obviously, they're going to be in Austin, which is, dude, Austin's a great city, but like politically, most people totally left-hearted. Love the city, though. This is not as significant of a move as you might think. However, moving the content moderation teams, which probably shouldn't exist in the first place, out of the California bubble into a slightly less left-hearted bubble in Austin, Texas, most likely, is at least a positive move. And I suspect many of the people on these teams are going to rage quit at the idea of moving to Texas, which will be a good thing. Now, this is important because it's an action. It's not just words.
As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our team. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more.
Now, this is actually a very positive statement. In short, at least if Mark Zuckerberg's words are to be believed and taken at face value, that means that Meta, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, if governments, three-letter agencies say, hey, ban this person, censor that opinion. What laptop? Don't let people share that link to that laptop because that's not real. Meta's response will be, please, kindly and gently go fuck yourselves. Obviously, Zuckerberg has had conversations with Trump. This is good. This is positive. No more bending over and taking it like a fucking bitch.
The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative.
More shots fired. He's absolutely right, by the way. Dude, Europe's gone down the fucking toilet. There's a couple of exceptions, right? But holy fuck, dude. Can't believe he said that.
Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government.
And the help of Big Daddy Trump.
And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship.
See, I mean, I understand his point, right? But If you had a pair of balls, you tell the government to go fuck themselves. Look, if I didn't know any better, I mean, I don't know, right? But if I didn't know any better, I almost might think that maybe a couple of years ago, or more recently, that Zuckerberg started optimizing his testosterone levels. He's finally grown a pair and realized that you can actually say, no, go fuck yourselves. We're not going to censor people unlawfully. Fuck you. It's almost like maybe someone else provided an example of saying, go fuck yourselves. And now Zuckerberg's realized you can actually say, go fuck yourself.
By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content,
which again, almost exclusively was in the opposite political direction of the voting patterns of literally every person that works at the Meta group. Oops, what a coincidence.
It is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
So this is a positive development, as I said recently, upon seeing this clip on X. In short, quote, I finally grew a pair and we're going to follow Elon's lead at X. Glad to see that Zuck has woken up. And if you guys didn't hear, Dana White, UFC, recently joined the Meta board, which I pointed out is definitely in line with this better late than never shift. Zuck obviously needs to fire all the dead weight at the Meta group as well. The tide has turned. Warren Redlick responds, still don't trust him. And I replied to that, nor should you. Trust must be earned, and it's a very long road back for Zuck. But this is a strong third step. The second step, by the way, was acknowledging that Trump's fight was the most badass thing ever. And the first step was his letter admitting regret over censorship at government behest, which importantly, that letter was published before Trump was elected. Now, it was obvious Trump was going to get elected. I mean, I called it to a T. You guys can fact check me. It's on X, right? Nailed it. So maybe Zuck knew that was inevitable as well, but it's not like it was entirely reactionary. So once again, an example of Elon Musk setting the tone in an entire industry. Reusable rockets are a dumb idea until they're not. You need LiDAR for self-driving cars until you don't. You need to censor people who have opinions about things that you don't want to hear until you don't. History never repeats, but it sure does rhyme. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.